Hi folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. In the past, some of our tournaments, Steve LaRose, he's a friend of mine that has come to help us out. He helps weigh the fish at our Big Bass Blowout, and he's done an awful lot more to help me in the things that I try to do for our area. Well, we recently had a kids' fishing day at Hawkins Point that the DEC and the Power Authority put on, and I talked to you about that. But after that, he told me he was going to go fish the stump field. So the next day I called him. I said, Steve, how'd you do fishing at the stump field? It's full of weeds right now, and what he uses is a frog. I don't mean a live frog. I mean one of these many baits you can get that are meant to look just like a frog going over the surface of the water. And by using something like this, you can fish in this thick weed cover that you normally wouldn't be able to cast anything into. So he's using the frog, and he sends me a picture. And I look at the picture, and oh, there's a beautiful largemouth bass, and he has the frog in its mouth. And then I go to the next picture, and I'm about to go, oh, what a beautiful largemouth bass to myself. And then I look and I say, that isn't a largemouth bass. And he isn't holding this fish. It's what we call a dogfish. And we've talked about it before. It's a prehistoric throwback to a time way before us. And the dogfish is wickedly, it's a bad dude. It's a fish that can cut your hand so easily because it's got wicked teeth and it's really free to bite down whenever it wants. Now, we hardly ever talk about dogfish. They're seen, I think, as a trash fish or whatever. Remember, everything has its purpose. These fish probably aren't too stupid. They've had thousands and thousands of years to get smart, and they are common in a lot of our backwater bays. And I think to myself of the times that I have caught dogfish. And here's the thing we don't think of. We don't think of even catfish and especially carp and some of these other fish of coming up and aggressively hitting something on the surface. Dogfish will do that. And I remember back to a time I was doing a TV show in Lake Champlain. I was back in this beautiful bay fishing for bass, and the dogfish were in there. And oh my gosh, were they ever aggressively coming up and hitting a lure. And they'll fight like heck. It's not like you're catching just a rock bass or something. These fish can really fight. And they can provide tremendous sport. However, I can't tell you how to get the hook back out of their mouth because that's a place I don't want to go. It's not a friendly place. But we do have these dogfish, and I think it's important to know that you can catch them with surface lures. I remember another time where I was fishing bass down on Butterfield Lake in Redwood, and again, I wanted to catch bass, and what I'm catching, I think I was using a Zara spook or one of the head-and lures of some kind on the surface, and these dogfish were coming up and hitting it. I think it's an interesting story, and it's another thing that we can encounter fishing in our area because we have fish of every kind in all our different waters, and dogfish are one of them, and they can really, really give you a shock. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.